him dancing. Look at him dancing, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him getting down. There he is, Mr. Bricks O'Brien.
That's a lot of tongue.
That was a lot of tongue, baby.
Our first actual recorded episode, even though, live, not live. We are alive, which is the Z&B Live in the Live and Unfiltered.
Right. We're going to treat it like it's live. We're going to treat it like
fine.
It's fine.
We're all good.
This is fine. And we unfortunately are going to be out of town when this episode airs. Both of us.
We both have great plans. I'm going to be in Ireland. I don't actually know where you're going.
I'm going to be at Disneyland. I'm going to be the Mouse House in California, hanging with some family, hanging with some friends, and I can't wait. It's going to be a blasty blast. I'm ready to unplug for a little bit. I'm just ready to kind of take a little bit of time. We're in the midst of tax season, which is super fun. And it's overwhelming sometimes, and it's just nice to kind of unplug and walk away. I mean, I'll still be trying to make some social content and things like that on the Instagrams and TikTok, if that's even still around after next week. I have no idea what's happening with that anymore.
Why would TikTok not be around?
Well, there's a whole legislation about it, like being banned in the United States.
Hey, listen, they all take your data. They all want your money. Meow meow.
Right? Yeah. So, but we'll, be making some social content, social posts, so you'll be able to follow the Rutledges through our exploits in Disneyland. And I do plan on, as some of our audience knows, last year was the infamous skipping incident of 2023, where I skipped through this exact same Disneyland park in California, skipped down Main Street with a churro in my hand and tore my Achilles. So I will be going back to the scene of the crime and
we will be doing it all over again.
And
it's
laying laying a churro down in remembrance of said incident.
You're gonna put a churro you paid $14.99 for on the ground.
I put the last one on the ground after I tore my Achilles. So I just figured it was poetic, right? It's my version of a rose.
Who's going to sponsor the $14.99 churro to be placed in lieu of the Achilles breaking again? I wonder.
I'm hoping it's taxes. I'm hoping it's it's
you're
business
hoping
expense.
For a refund?
I'm hoping it's business expense. No, I'm hoping it's a business expense.
I was gonna say, if you guys like us, if we get a refund, that's a bad sign. So we can't.
Right. I can't tell you. I haven't had a tax refund since 2012.
Not similar time, but yes. For those we're not going to harp on this the whole episode, I promise, because it's very sad. But when you are a independent contractor, whether you're a content creator or whatever, you are paying into the tax system wholeheartedly. So when you have a W-2, you're a traditional employee of a company, benefits, whatever, you a lot of the time will pay more in taxes throughout the year, which means you get a refund. Where guys like us, we're not paying any taxes at all throughout the year unless you pay quarterly, and you'll still have to pay. You have to pay. So if you get a refund,
quarterly, you're still going to have to pay.
Right. So if you get money back, it kind of means that you're failing. Your business is failing. Like, here's money back.
It's like oh, you suck. Here, have some money back. You poor
really funny,
man.
And I didn't realize this. If you lose money on you doing this thing for enough years in a row, the IRS deems it as a hobby instead of income, and you can't deduct those things anymore. Patreon.com/Brian.
See, this is why.
Tier 3 sub at Zach M. Rutledge on Twitch or whatever.
This is why.
Wait, should we tell them about what No, we shouldn't. Never mind.
Look at it. Look at him, like, kind of teasing it out there. Just all of a sudden, just dropping a little nugget and then pulling it right back. Just absolutely.
We're gonna have official Internal Revenue Service merchandise hitting
Yeah.
each of our fourth wall embassies sooner rather than later.
Just teasing it out there. So yeah, it's you know, taxes suck. It's part of
Finances, Zach. Those finances.
It's part of our financial institution. And speaking of
institutions,
speaking of finances and financials, ladies and gentlemen, LEGO has released their performance highlights from 2023, and there were some interesting takeaways and interesting tidbits from all of this, Mr. Brooks O'Brien. What were some of the things that caught your eye?
Things that caught my eye, obviously the revenue, the big graph, not doing what most billion-dollar companies think that they want to do. Always surprising are the popular themes for the year. A lot of people may not anticipate some more than others, and what they chose to focus on here in the financial report. So, contrary to how a lot of other major companies do their thing, LEGO actually has like a nice looking like presentation of their performance throughout 2023. So
I want to know who their PowerPoint person is. It's
I know, right?
It's very, very good.
Yeah. They had some poor graphic designer, and like I'm instead of doing a Fortnite torso, I have to do this today. That's what they had. Their project for the day.
You work for LEGO? How cool! What do you do? I make PowerPoint.
Right, for the financial performance for the year. So it's very nice. And yeah, what would normally be held in like an investor meeting, you hop on a call, whatever. This is how they're choosing to do it because although LEGO makes a lot of money, they're still a family-owned company. But I'll remind you, they are a massive multi-billion-dollar company. And I would argue they are not a family-owned company, even though they're family-owned. But that's for another point for another day. So it is the revenue. The revenue is a big one here that a lot of media outlets are calling attention to because line don't go up, line go down, which is obviously never good, but there's infinite reasons why that could or could not be the case. It's global conditions, obviously, with the lockdown before. That's why everything tanked and went back up and whatever. There's specifically with LEGO this year, the fact that they are investing heavily in their resources, which, spoiler alert, cost a lot of money. And so instead of just having their portfolio of products that come out over the year, they're actually making a new, I believe it's a new factory in Virginia.
Right.
And they are relocating their American headquarters to Boston. So if this show ever tanks, then I can just get a job there.
There you go.
So it works out perfectly.
It kind of bugged me a little bit. It was a little clickbaity for me to see something like financial results demonstrate slowing growth as sales stagnant. And I kind of looked at that and I went, as profits decline, and I'm like, huh? Their revenue in 2022 was $64.6 billion. Their revenue in 2023 was $65.9. That's up, right? But they spent more money in infrastructure, which means their overall net was lower, went down, but they spent more money. You make more money, you spend more money. You got to spend money to make money. That old adage, right? Like, so to have some of these outlets putting stuff out there and saying, well, they haven't seen a decline in a net profit previous year since 2017. So in 2016, their net, which I find this number staggering, by the way. In 2016, their net profit was 9.4, but in 2017 was 7.8. So if you look back at 2016, the overall numbers are just fascinating to me. Like, I love looking at this stuff. 2016, I'll be all of this pre-pandemic, time frame, right? In 2017, 7.8. And now we're post-pandemic and we've doubled that, or almost doubled that. And you see the shift during the pandemic, which I thought was fascinating. Because that's when the hobby exploded. Everybody was back home, had nothing to do, We're going to order ourselves some plastic blocks from our childhood to make ourselves happy while we're stuck here at home. And revenue from 2019 of 38.5 went up to 43.7 billion. That's crazy.
What's really
During
crazy
the
too,
pandemic, it went
during the
up.
pandemic, right? And the only other key massive milestone you could really pull from before the pandemic was the Lego movie coming out, which was another cultural moment
Sure.
where people were like, oh, a Lego movie, stupid. Oh, a Lego movie's great. And that shot up the sales quite significantly from 2014 to 2015. So those were two key moments for the company that you can look back in the past 10 years that really defined their trajectory going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, and this is part of a larger conversation, which we may or may not get to, but like, what would be the next thing that Lego tries to do to really stoke the fire and shoot things up a little bit more? Maybe they're anticipating it's Lego Fortnite, but that doesn't necessarily seem to be the case, which we'll get into that for sure in a little while. So
it could be the influx of a new property like that, though, that helps propel them. And that's kind of where I wanted to go with looking at these numbers, right? So you look at pre-pandemic, they kind of capped out in 2019, highest revenues, it goes back to 2013, what we have here.
Yep.
So 2013, if you want to go back there, 25.2 billion. And then in 2019, 38.5. So you know what I mean? But we've now gone from that pre-pandemic 38.5 billion up to 65.9. That's crazy to think about where the hobby has gone. And I know inflation and prices has a lot to do with this as well, but keep in mind it's also costing them more to produce because the material wise it's more expensive too. Everything from 2019 to now is just more expensive. You go to the groceries, it's more expensive. It's not just here, it's all across the world, right? So everything's just more expensive. So yes, they're doubling their revenue, but they probably haven't doubled the amount of cost, but they are adding cost to that. I find it fascinating to see what the pandemic did in invigorating the hobby and invigorating the overall Lego hobby. And part of that really, I think, also comes down to influencers and putting a major emphasis on having these online voices and getting out into the communities and saying, buy this Lego, you're going to be upset with yourself if you don't buy this Lego, spend the hundreds of dollars to buy this Lego, you don't want to miss out on it, Not because they're towing the Lego company line, but they genuinely enjoy the hobby and they genuinely think these things, right? And when we ourselves as collectors or Lego fans or AFOLs, we get our hands on the sets, we see why. We're really enjoying it, and the quality in the sets has increased so much. When you look back at those old Star Wars sets from 1999, when the Phantom Menace sets first kind of came out and really started the Star Wars Lego collaboration there, the quality in Star Wars sets we're getting now compared to back is staggering. Harry Potter sets, these brand name sets that we're getting, Marvel, like it's incredible to see the quality difference from where the company has grown, where the designers have grown. And part of that is the slow growth in the overall hobby. You're getting more designers, you're getting more people out there, the ideas program, getting people involved, getting outside, influences and ideas and how to build sets and all this stuff. It's just, it all goes hand in hand. But my God, these numbers are staggering. I don't know how you can look at these numbers from a media outlet and try to put a negative spin on it, because I see nothing but beautiful numbers here for the overall hobby and the overall company. net profit aside, that's due to infrastructure. They could go status quo. They could have kept it status quo from 2021 to 2023 and not done anything different, and saw a massive boost in net profit, right? Because they're at the point where they don't necessarily even need that type of, but they're doing things. They're doing things for sustainability purposes. They're doing stuff to improve shipping and inventory, and they're looking ahead. They're thinking ahead because they're seeing this growth. I wonder if the amount of growth in just 3 short years caught them off guard a little bit. Do you think?
I think it did to an extent. What I really commend about Lego when it comes to hobby-based product you invest in, you have a company like these people who are very steady growth. We are going to, not go status quo. We're not going to go above and beyond crazy. We're not going to dump a bunch of money into NFTs and crypto and try to pivot to, like, we're going to wait for the stuff to settle to see where our next move is, which is why it's probably taken them so long to get into Fortnite, which is a whole other thing we will definitely get into, as compared to Funko Pop, where you constantly see them on sale for 20-30% off every single product besides the main heavy hitters, also to a point of overproduction where they have to go into a landfill with how much they've overproduced and touching on all these different intellectual properties and invariants and whatever. So from a toy and hobby standpoint, it's very nice to see them pacing themselves in that way and being very calculated with their moves. The detriment to that is that they don't move quickly and stuff slacks behind, or they don't have as big of a finger on the pulse if you had investors and people to, I guess, satisfy in that way. They want to see more aggressive growth in key areas, so especially the technology department. So if we had LEGO Fortnite maybe a couple years earlier before the pandemic, where Fortnite was really popping, like, you think people were playing video games during then, Fortnite was on a string. They were going like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then because they were overworking everybody at Epic Games and trying to get events out and blah, 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 stopped right with the pandemic. And it just kind of went that way, in my opinion, at least. You could have had a lot more going right before then and in the lockdown and going into 2021 and then really seeing a really comeuppance there. So I look at this and I mean, nobody should be alarmed. Nobody should be alarmed. There have been years where I worked at the Lego store and they would give bonuses based on how well the company performed, how well your store performed, and how well your region did. And Lego always does an excellent job of like rewarding the people that helped them get to where they were. And I remember in 2014, they even did something extra super special for employees that I wasn't working. Was I working there at that time? I think I was, but I wasn't impacted, whatever, because of the movie, because the Lego movie saw such a boost in sales. So no cause for concern on any of this. They are investing in, like you said, the actual physical structures of buildings that they have all across the world. Obviously, diving into digital with Fortnite is a big move for them. They're having whether it's Epic Games or Lego, whatever, they're having every single Lego Fortnite skin made into, or rather every Fortnite skin made into Lego, which is a massive undertaking from a graphic design standpoint, on top of all the stuff they're already designing and how much influx of product is coming out, to the point where one of these, in the orange here, if you're watching the video version of the show, 47% of products were new as part of the portfolio. How many companies do you know that come out with, like, you look at their entire catalog of stuff and then half of it is new every single year? And that's for all different price points and themes and new introductions like Dreams. Whether or not you think Dreams is successful, which I do not, they launched a brand new show and it came out on YouTube and they have multiple and like they're investing in all that stuff too, and like original stuff. So it's obviously websites sensationalizing it for the clicks, and obviously, but none of this looks out of the ordinary to a plebeian like me from an outside standpoint. It looks fine, but they would have sold a lot more if they had Super Mario minifigures as part of their assortment of products.
There it was.
And that was in the top of the popular themes. All right. Just saying, man. Just saying.
Now we have seen, for 3 years, 2021, 22, 23, we're there. It's basically taken. So they were kind of like averaging around that 8 billion range. If you kind of go back to 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, all the way to 2019, it was like fluctuating between 6 and 7 and then 9 and then 7 and then 8. And then so it's kind of like that average of 8, right? Now we've had 3 consistent years of 13. Is that, you think that's kind of their status quo now? You think that's where they're going to rest unless they have a major prop? Like, we're all waiting around. We're all waiting around for Fortnite minifigs, Fortnite sets. Is Fortnite the property to boost them above that 13 billion range of net and get them into the 14 range?
No.
You don't think so? Is there something out there that will, though?
When you look at the two things, like I said before, it is the Lego movie and the lockdown. Those are the two pivotal points I look at on those graphs. I'm like, yep, those two. The movie superseded games, hobby. It trenched into a new area that Lego hadn't been in before. And it superseded expectations. Unbelievable. You did not see that happen with Lego Movie 2. You did not see that happen with Lego Ninjago or Lego Batman. Did not resonate nearly as much. That could be a whole thing we get into because we're both kind of film and media guys and reviewing those. That should be kind of a fun episode, but whatever. It's going to take something like one of those two things to happen. And the thing about Lego Fortnite, if you're already in Fortnite, great, you might play it. But there's already this baked in, very aggressive game culture around the building system of Fortnite and competitive and what Fortnite is. And Lego is a subdivision of that. And as we've seen, even just based on our circles of AFOLs and whoever, there's not people playing Lego Fortnite who is a Lego fan. Like they're generally a Fortnite fan who wants to get into the Lego thing, and that's fine. But this goes into the greater play, and this is, again, we could divulge into different branches of topics in general, but like metaverse and experiences, what Roblox is trying to do, Minecraft, and how Epic is trying the same thing with their with the Lego update, and like that is the play that Lego is trying to get involved with by collaborating with Epic Games. But as we're seeing as of fairly recently, it's been a little tumultuous considering the content that has come out from Lego Fortnite. And I don't see the same excitement from our circle, or my fans don't care. So who cares? Not who cares, but who cares? And
right, who out there is the one that cares about that particular property in that game? So I have, because I've seen the same thing, right? Video games especially, boy, it's fickle out there, man. It is what's the new flavor of the month, right? And when it hit, man, it hit big, and everybody flocked to it, and people that were already playing Fortnite,
as it always happens,
were one to check it out. People that hadn't, like me, that had only casually played Fortnite, were like, oh, I want to go check, like, what is that? As a Lego fan, I want to go check this out. I want to see what it is. And then you had people that had never played Fortnite that are Lego fans going, okay, yeah, I actually do want to check, because it's free to download. It's like, let's download it and see what's up. So
keep that in mind, by the way, it's free to download.
So here's my thought. They released that update, that Lego Fortnite update. There's two thoughts here. One, we've talked about ad nauseum. They released it without any sets to help cross promote and keep people excited about it, right? To me, that's a huge marketing misstep. As a marketing guy, you screwed the pooch on that one. Sorry, Lego, you messed up.
I agree.
You should have had stuff. I don't know whose fault it was. You should have had stuff in the hopper ready to rock and roll. Okay. The other thing here, and then this is an epic thing. They released lots of other game versions in Fortnite. It's already a big amalgamation of types of game plays and things like that. Well, during their big presentation, Lego was in there, but then they had like a Rocket League kind of thing or whatever. Then they had a Guitar Hero kind of thing or whatever it was. Like they had other stuff being released around it, which then separated everybody out. Like all of a sudden it was like, well, I want to, which one do I want to play? And then there's too many options. So I'm just going to keep going back to the battle royale and call it like
it diluted the announcement in a similar way, which we just talked about last week with the Mario movie being announced for Mario Day. They're not going to announce a Peach's Castle. There's one key thing and then some other things beneath it. So with that the Fortnite update, the big thing was, I don't know. And Lego underneath it, that's not what Lego Fortnite deserves, considering how many millions of dollars are investing in it. So you're totally right.
Right. And, luckily you had a few, Lego influencers out there that did what they could to help.
That's not enough.
Promote it, and kind of try to keep the idea alive. And you see amazing folks like our good friend, Brick and Nick out there mocking upsets, trying to create what they have in the game on his own and whatever. He shouldn't have to. These sets should already be available for people to buy so you can keep the conversation alive.
He's done an amazing job with those, by the way. At the time of this recording.
Right.
At the time of this recording, I'm actually over in Ireland at his wedding. So shout out to Nick for inviting me and me going. With that, the Lego people that went to the Fortnite event to check it out or whatever, a lot of people I'm very familiar with. Nick, I consider a good friend of mine. And he actually went through the Brick Nerd to visit there. He didn't get the invite and whatever, however you want to phrase it. Those people aren't the caliber of creator you need to bring on to shake the boat. You need to bring Ninja or Booga or whoever's hot and popping and whatever. Bring them in to shift the narrative over to Lego Fortnite. That's going to get the Fortnite people to Lego Fortnite. But instead, what did those massive creators do? You check it out for 4 days and then you kind of do whatever with it.
Right.
But that's not enough for how much money you're diving in with Epic collaborating with the number one toy company in the world. It's just not enough.
It's not enough. And we're relying, and that's my point, is we're relying on outside sources currently outside of Lego and Epic to keep it alive. If you're sitting here watching on YouTube, you see an image of our good friends over from Bricker Builds who've just released their own little Fortnite llama pinata thing, right?
You have an affiliate link for them, right, Zach?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Put that link in the description. If you want to buy something from Bricker Builds, go use Zach's link there. All purchases help
shameless
support the
plug.
show.
But seriously, and the Bricker Builds guys do amazing work anyway, but they're keeping the conversation alive. Lego's not.
Actually, that's a lie, Zach. That's a lie. Fortnite is keeping the conversation alive.
Oh, please explain.
So the most recent update that came up for Lego Fortnite was a fishing update, which fishing, cool. They've all okay, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. Beside that, they added a feature into the game where you could purchase digital Lego sets to implement into your world in Lego Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
On that surface level, sounds pretty decent. You could spend a couple of your V-Bucks, buy a thing, whatever. Lego Fortnite has added fishing. End of statement. And now they're charging $15 to $25 to implement a digital version of a Lego set and accompanying assets into the game. The game does not have a steering wheel for you to control your aerial vehicles. They don't have horses for a faster method of transportation. the game is severely, 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 severely lacking content from an objective standpoint. You have Epic, who is a massive company who can do all these different skins, and they are doing the work to make Lego versions of all the existing skins, and that is commendable. But there's not enough to do in the game except for build at that end game once you upgrade your town and do all your things. So not only are you paying to get more bricks added into your game once you pay for your set pack, but then also now there's a build limit that you have on your island, and you can't change the terrain at all. So the key aspect being building and its fundamental tools don't have enough to make you really want to get invested and really customize your world. But now we're going to charge you $25 to have this digital Lego set that you can't share with anybody else in your world and not have it as part of the already existing battle pass system. This is a separate purchase. And these digital Lego sets you have, unlike everything else in Lego Fortnite, where you can use your skin in the music mode and Rocket League and all the stuff transfers over, the Lego stuff doesn't transfer over. So if you buy that Lion Knight's castle for $25 to put in your Fortnite world, it stays there and that's it. That is unacceptable. They do not have enough added into the game to keep people coming back for more in a game that they've already dumped all this money into that seems to be sidelined by the other game modes that they're constantly adding stuff to. And it just goes to show, after the past year that they've been developing everything, it still doesn't hit the way that it should and the expectations set by Epic with how epic their updates have been for the entire life of Fortnite.
Is it how do you know how many packs they have available or going to have available?
I believe it's like 6 packs right now. It could be more by the time this episode comes out, but they range anywhere from $15 to $25 worth of in-game currency.
And it's like a preset pack, so you buy the pack and you'll already have all the supplies and materials to make it. You don't have to go out and search the materials or scout the materials or acquire them.
No, so you're not looking for stuff. I'm going to look specifically what those are right now. As I understand it, it is prefabricated elements that you can place wherever you want to. There are additional bricks from those packs that you can use as part of what you want to custom build. But everything in Lego Fortnite as of right now has been, brown and gray. And now a lot of this is brown and gray, considering that there's a Lion Knight Castle and there's Der Burger, which is like a location kind of from Fortnite. And it's not like popping primary colors, which would really spice things up.
Right.
So, for example, if you bought the Beachside Boulevard bundle, it is a Lego kit with 7 builds. So I perceive those to be, building structures that you can place kind of wherever you want to in your world, and then 44 decoration items. So you get a total of 51 items that you can use as part of your pack. That's for $19 worth of money, digital currency there. So are you willing to pay $19 for one setup of this stuff? Oh, you want to get the next one in it? Then it's another 2,000 V-Bucks, $20. You want to get the Lion Knight's Castle bundle, which has 10 builds and 65 decor items. That's $25. So to just get the update here worth of stuff, you're looking at $60. It's kind of a lot of money for digital stuff you can only use in this game and doesn't enhance the gameplay at all.
Right. The lack of terrain adjustment is rough too.
Ridiculous.
Like, that's where, really I was hoping we would see more of a Minecraft style where you could kind of customize your plot of land and really kind of build stuff up and customize it and things.
And you can't, and there's also that build limit. So once you make your stuff and you max it out the way you want to, you have to save room for a forthcoming kit that you're not aware of or a new project you're not aware of yet, where Minecraft is essentially infinite. To fill up a Minecraft world, nobody's like done it. I'm pretty sure nobody's done it like to the extent, like you have to do like an insane amount. So obviously them raising that cap is fairly easy, but how do the servers operate and whatever, that's a different story. So the point of the matter is that they're already adding microtransactions into the game that are pretty pricey without having key features to the game that are basic game features right out from the gate. That's what people are upset about. That's what I understand. That's what makes it very interesting that they chose this approach instead of letting Lego Fortnite cook for another 6 months, release it right with the product, have digital codes in those boxes for when people go onto the game, have a more fleshed out gameplay system.
That right there, that's the answer. Is the digital codes. You want this set in your land.
Yep.
Here's the digital code. You bought the set. Here's your digital code. Now you can include it. You can import this build into your Lego world. That makes so much sense. Can Lego Fortnite survive long enough before they realize this and get sets out in people's hands? It's the only way it's going to reinvigorate the game, right?
Lego Fortnite, when it drops, like they are if obviously coming out with Lego sets. So there'll be a battle bus and minifigures and whatever. They have an infinite pool of figures to pull from. They've already invested this money. They're already in too deep. I think they are already in too deep as compared to when TT does like a Lego Star Wars game. I think they've already put more money into this and a long-term plan than it is for that one-off sort of a game. This is like a 3-year-long play at minimum that Epic and Lego have together. And it's not starting off on the right foot. And Fortnite continues to be a massive game that people love the Battle Royale aspect of it on. I am very, very, very curious to see if the gaming public, the Fortnite kids, the ones doing the emotes in the gymnasium during their, like those like the Declans, Donalds, Tabithas, and Tammys, are they going to move the needle to buy Lego Fortnite stuff? Because the AFOLs aren't. They don't care about Fortnite. I don't know if those people care about a physical product the way Lego anticipates them to. Maybe a battle bus, maybe a couple other things, but I don't know about long term. I'm very, very curious.
Depends on how good. For me, it depends on how good the sets are. If they're fun, fun builds, interesting play sets, whatever, I could see myself even buying. I'm not even a major Fortnite fan, but I could see myself buying some Fortnite stuff. You got a lot of minifig collectors out there in the AFOL world that are going to be looking at these, just like the Animal Crossing, figures, right? You got a lot of these guys that are just like, oh my god, the fig, like we're all about the fig. Forget the freaking buildings. We want the figures, whatever. There's I would like a battle bus.
I would buy a battle bus too. Yeah. Well, absolutely.
So I think, but is it enough for those people to buy it and then go play the game? No.
That's what I'm curious about. Is that enough? And I agree. Like, are people going to really emotionally connect with the giant frost monster that is available, the only boss in the game right now? Are they going to want to go buy that as a Lego set because they played it in Lego Fortnite? Or are they just going to stick with Lego versions of existing Fortnite locations and vehicles like a battle bus and stuff? I think it's the latter.
Yeah,
but we'll
see. I don't see it. I don't see it trending in a good direction.
Good luck with this transition. You got nothing.
Yeah, my topic didn't work, so I don't know.
Oh,
okay. Nothing moved here.
There it goes.
There it goes. See, treating it like it's live, baby. One of the things that continues to, I guess, I'm a little perplexed by, because I've brought this up before. When it comes to DC and Lego, it's Batman or nothing.
Batman or bust.
Batman or bust, baby. And it's, Superman doesn't exist. For all intents and purposes, Wonder Woman doesn't exist. All the other Justice League doesn't exist. It's Batman or bust. And I'm not complaining, because the Batman stuff we get is good. It's good stuff, right? But where's the Daily Planet? Like, give me a Superman Daily Planet, thing or whatever. I know it's a ripoff. We've already got the Daily Bugle, blah, 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 whatever. But my point still stands. It's Batman or bust. That's all we ever see when it comes to the DC universe of characters. Now, that being said, once again, they have, in my opinion, knocked this next Batman set out of the freaking Gotham City Park because, my God, I continue to try to talk myself into, I don't need this day one. This art set is great. I don't need to go to the Lego store on day one and buy it and build it right away. But the more I look at it, the more I analyze it, the more I want it, and the more I want to build it right away on April freaking 1st. I don't know how much of a Batman fan you are, but overall thoughts on the new release Batman Gotham City art set that came out, or that's coming out April 1st.
Before I go too deep into my opinion here, you're the guy that loves mini builds,
Mm-hmm.
and you love the art sets,
Mm-hmm.
and you seem to love Batman.
Mm-hmm.
That's a triforce of things Batman probably loves. So, like, why wouldn't you buy this immediately? I've never seen Batman animated series. Never seen it. So I have no connection to this at all. The minifigures that are included are cool, that you get the rendition of Joker, Harley, Catwoman, Batman. That's cool that you're getting a little bit of representation besides, a DC original or having the Dark Knight or Robert Pattinson Batman. You're getting Batman animated series. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a Batman Beyond minifigure eventually, but that's just that's a whole different thing. As a art set, very cool concept. Obviously, the Gotham City is a character in of itself,
Sure.
And I felt that way, especially with the Robert Pattinson Batman. You could really feel like it had its personality shining through, and you see it here. Iconic locations all throughout the entire city showcased. You have the red sky here, which is very, very cool, very gothic, very fitting for it. I have no affinity to get this at all. I am grateful that people are going to really get behind it. The only thing I could really see myself doing, not related to this, but I have a skyline that I have as part of the fictitious world of Pro Gamers Guide, my children's book series with Kevin Hinkle. We have, a skyline of iconic buildings and stuff. And as soon as I saw this, somebody told me, like, yo, what if you did a Brick City skyline in this style, micro build version with all the different, like the foreground, background, everything, which would be very, very cool.
Yeah.
So I like the approach to this and the way that they managed to pull off a Gotham City while making it succinct so you could put it on your shelf in the background in your office and it doesn't look like a kiddie toy set. It looks like a nice display piece. So I agree. Lego knocked it out of the park. It just unfortunately is not for me.
Yeah. The obviously, like you said, micro builds for me. This is spectacular. All the Easter eggs scattered throughout and hidden behind paneling and things like that you can remove in this set is amazing. We got some exclusive minifigs with this. We get a Batman with the actual bat underwear on the outside of his on the outside of his pants and all this stuff, and all the different representation, lots of stickers. I know some people are going to complain about the stickers and whatnot, but on top of that, we also get some cool printed pieces, as well. And like I said, if you're a minifig collector, you're going to get some exclusive minifigs with this, and that right there is amazing. Priced really well. It's still high priced. It's not a cheap set, but when you look at the amount of pieces and whatnot you get, it's a lot of small pieces. It's not a lot of big pieces, but it's a lot of small pieces. But the overall mosaic style of the background and the reddish tint to the sky, very reminiscent of the animated series, and that animated series is just beloved. I mean, it's still it still stands the test of time. The animation style was spectacular and dramatic, and it still has influence on what Batman properties you see today. And I gotta somehow. I hope that tax man doesn't do me wrong, Brian, because I got to somehow find the money come April 1st. I feel like to head. This isn't even a set, which is shocking to me. This isn't even a set that I want to buy on lego.com and have it shipped to me. This is a set I want to get up in the morning. I want to go to the Lego store on April 1st. I want to go buy it, and I want to immediately take it home, and I want to start building it right away. Like That's what this set does to me from an overall like design standpoint. Batman is spectacular. Obviously, I kind of grew up with that particular animated series, so that that Kevin Conroy Batman, like that's my Batman. Like that's that and the Michael Keaton are my Batman. And it's it also we did the math, we did the measurement. It also fits perfectly in a Billy bookcase. It's the perfect width to slide right in. So you can hang it on a wall. It still has that ability to be hung on a wall. It does not have a way to mount the minifigs is my only gripe about it. And matter of fact, in their promotional material, they actually show their minifig stand sitting on top of another framed picture below the frame, which I just thought was like special. But it would have been nice, very similar to Starry Night, where they had a little display stand option to kind of stick the minifig to it. It would have been nice if they had done something like this. Now, yes, I've already been told by several people, oh, you can mock that. Well, you know what? The average person can't. And that, there's still going to be the average person that buys this that really is the one misstep of the whole set. Lego should have included a way for the minifig stand to be attached to the front of this, so you could have your minifigs on display right next to it. You could have
put it next to the B and the N on the sides, 2 and 2.
Yeah, like right there on top. Yeah, like it should have been a way. There should have been a way for it to be attached to this. And
there could have been something like that. Seems fairly easy.
It's not fair to people. It's not fair to say, well, you can mock that easily. No, that's not. No, I don't want to hear that. That's not a fair assessment of something that should already be included in the set. And for the marketing and promotional material to show the fact that it can't be mounted anyway, and they're sitting it on top of another framed picture on the wall, shows that it's an oversight, in my opinion. Like that's what that's demonstrating to me. It's minor gripe for what will probably be just an absolute beautiful set. But there are going to be people that want to put it on the wall, and they're going to have to figure out a way to also have the minifig display, with it. So, but the day, like I said, I'm trying to talk myself out of it. Easily a day one purchase for me, and probably a day one build. One of the amazing things that we continue to see, and we talked about earlier during the financials, are the introduction of Lego ideas and bringing, new thoughts and processes and building techniques into Lego to keep their overall hobby energized, right? And one of the newest sets to reach that coveted 10,000 supporters on the Lego Ideas site is the vintage record player. Now, the record player itself is cool. If it actually became a set, I would probably buy a set like this. I think it's very, very neat. Very, very. I love these vintage style sets. I have the vintage typewriter behind me. It's a very cool set as well. But really what got my brain ticking on this one, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, was there are lots of record player type sets in the Ideas program currently. And now with the introduction of a sound brick in the sorting hat, Lego now has the technology to start introducing sound into more of their sets. Is that something you can see them using for sets like, record players or Walkmans or boom boxes or other whatever sets coming out? Do you see them really diving into the sound brick and using it for sets like this?
Definitely, but it can't be too much at the detriment of price. And when you're looking at something like this, a record player is definitely one of those things that people are very gung-ho about, and they have a record collection. I kind of never would have thought it by comparison of DVD, CDs, and tapes are kind of coming back a little bit, not nearly as much, but records are definitely one of those things. And, you have the single 28-year-old guy has a record player in his studio apartment in Soho.
So that way
there
it was.
that he can impress, whoever he's bringing over. So I think more so than this style here, I think you could see like an actual, like a more modernized record player and have different things to it. But yeah, it just can't be at price, because at that point, why wouldn't you just buy the practical thing, which is always an argument with like the NES and the Atari and the, the whatever. With the, what's it called? The Sorting Hat. Sorting Hat, I believe the price to part and value ratio, that brick is kind of worth like 30, 35 bucks compared to whatever set you're gonna really put it in. So how much do you think people are willing to spend on a record player? Maybe this specific one, which is a phonograph, is that right? Is that the terminology?
This would still be just considered a vintage record player. It's I've seen different styles of this in different types of cabinets and things like that, but the overall record is like a big. It's not a big. It's actually like a little, but it's really, really thick. It almost feels like a metal plate kind of thing.
So when you Google phonograph, that's what that is.
That's what that is. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got it right. So I don't think people would buy a phonograph because that's a little old. But I think like a record player with like a boombox or like speaker system, that could work, but not this specific thing. And then also with that, what do you have playing? Is it classical music, royalty free? Is it everyone is awesome?
That's why. Well, see, that's why something like this works for that scenario too. Is that stuff is all public domain at this point?
I don't think
right?
People would buy that though.
I don't know, man. People like their vintage stuff, man. I don't know. I don't know. But to your point, yes, like you're right. Like if you get a normal record player, what are you putting on that sound? If you decide to utilize a sound brick style, type of technology, I'm just trying to think of different ways that they can continue to use. Like, why create the technology if you don't have more plans to utilize it?
I mean, they first kind of did it with Lego Mario to Succession. Like that's a sound box that has a reader on it, so that way you can whatever. Here's what would have been really cool. Now that it just dawned on me, what would have been really cool if they didn't fumble that bag with Lego Video is you could have had a record player of some kind and different discs you could put on the record player where it scans the thing and it plays a sound clip from each of the records that are part of the record label, right? So you spin it once and it like plays a Katy Perry sound clip, which is kind of like, what is it called? I had them as a kid where you put it in like a little device. If we had a live chat, people would probably be able to say it. But like you put the little click thing in and it plays like a 30-second sound clip from a song. I had one as a kid. I forget what they're called.
I know what you're talking about, but I mean, that
could have been it.
Yeah, they have that stuff, with the NFC stuff that they're using right now with the kyber crystals and for the Disney Star Wars stuff, right? The kyber crystals that you use for lightsabers or your holocrons, whatever, all of that stuff is just using that NFC technology inside of it to read whatever that is programmed to play. And you could start kind of combining the two technologies between what's in the Mario stuff and the sound brick and start really coming up with some pretty cool ways to incorporate sound and different types of sound into, but it all comes down to price. How much is that going to start adding to the cost of overall sets and things like that? And I don't know. I think give me any record player and I'm going to get it. I'm not one of those people that look at a set like the Atari, look at a set like the vintage typewriter and say, well, I could just go out and buy a working version of that at a way. Part of the fun is the model building, the actual building of it, right? And I don't get those experiences if I go out and just go buy an Atari that I'm probably never going to play. I'm going to enjoy putting it together, and it's going to be an amazing display piece that I can then, look at and remember the building and the fondness of the building and the memories of building it and whatever. You're not going to really get that if you go out and just go to a pawn shop and go buy an Atari. Like you're not going to get that. So I I understand why some people think that way. I'm just not one of those people that think that way, that you can't replace the tangible stuff, the stuff that's already out there, with a brick built version for the same type of cost or less than or whatever. I would buy this phonograph. So I would go out and buy a record player set or whatever and have fun putting it together, regardless if they incorporated a sound brick or not. It would still be an enjoyable experience for me. But I want to see more sound bricks. I want to see more use of that technology and how they can utilize it. And maybe a record player is a good place to start.
Or Lego Mario digital characters with sound, please.
Yes, please. Thank you. Coming up, the rest of this week, ending on March 21st. It's Easter promo time, folks. Easter is right around the corner, and not only
it's really early this year, by the way.
Yeah, it really is. Not only is Lego running sales on what they consider Easter style or gifts or whatever, but they're running a massive sales on a lot of sets, 20, 30, 40% off sales on lego.com. And they have two different gift with purchases kind of going on right now with Easter stuff. You have one $80 threshold for this chicken house egg thing, and then the bunny and egg colorful eggs poly bag at a $40 threshold. So if there's any sets there right before Easter you want to get your hands on, you've got until March 21st to do so. I may have already pulled a trigger. I like collecting these. I don't know why. I like collecting the holiday sets for some reason. I like having these. I rarely ever build them, but I like having them for some reason. So I kind of always find a way to buy something to get them into my possession. Mr. Bricks O'Brien doesn't. He doesn't care about these.
No, I don't care at all. No, not even a little bit.
Not
even not even. No.
Not even a little bit.
Easter is an excuse for me to have chocolate or have my fans send me peeps that I hate. That's it.
You don't like peeps? Do you put them in the microwave and blow them up?
No, I don't. I begrudgingly eat them at 2:00 in the morning when I shouldn't.
If you don't like them, why do you eat them?
Welcome to the story of Brian Saviano. My name is Brian Saviano.
Once again, just like last week, I need a glimpse into Bricks O'Brien's morning routines and life. Brian needs his own reality show. Can we please get Mr. Bricks O'Brien? That would be a fascinating.
Yeah, it would. It'd be very sad. It'd be very sad.
No,
it'd be like a drama. It'd be like a, behind the curtain. It's just me in the field position in my bedroom at like 8:30 in the morning, debating on whether I should do any things that I'm built up to do, and I'm having
whether
a mental.
You should go eat a peep.
Or that, yes.
Do you debate with yourself over the peeps? Do you sit in your easy chair and you're like, man, do I get up and go get a peep right now? Is this like an internal debate that you have?
It is in the stark of 3:00 in the morning. I'm sitting, it's just all red lights around me, and I'm staring into watching somebody, late on Twitch. It's like Amish at 4:30 in the morning Eastern. And I'm just watching him, and I'm like, peep time. And I go up and I get
peep time.
And he has no clue. He has no clue what that means, but I do.
It's so bad.
So sad. Can I just get my castle?
You just want your castle.
I just want to feel happy.
That's what. Hey, listen. I still think there is a potential for a Peaches Castle in 2024.
Listen, at this moment, as of this going live, I am in Ireland, and I'm gonna meet that spicy redhead and never come back. So it's all fine.
Think of what your reality show production team could have done. Like we're following Mr. Bricks O'Brien to Ireland.
Is he passed out on the sidewalk in front of anyway? Who did that to him? He did.
I love it. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you so much. Enjoy Ireland and enjoy your spicy redhead that you'll find there. Bring her back. We need the audience will need to approve her
Green card wedding. Let's go, baby. Let's go. 98 fiance. We out here.
Yeah. And folks, we'll be back live next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time over on YouTube. Don't forget to check us out there. Subscribe, do the likes, do the comment things, do all the YouTubey things over there. Check us out also. If you're only watching us on YouTube, you can check us out on Apple Podcast and Spotify podcasts, or, you know, pretty much wherever you can get your podcasts these days. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you so much. Be safe. Enjoy your travels. And folks, we will see you guys next time. Bye.